So we're gonna write down our measurement here for my measurement for my bust. Is it 40? Is that what?
No.
Hi guys, welcome to Off Our Needles. I'm Jodi.
I'm Tracie, and we're the Grocery Girls.
And in this episode, it is make or break with sweater fit.
This is a big deal. I love to knit sweaters, but it's all for nothing if it doesn't fit well.
Well, I've knit 4 this year.
Yes.
3 of which don't fit.
And how does that feel?
Terrible.
Wah, wah.
Yes. My failure was basically my measurements. So this is terrific. I clearly thought I was smaller than I was.
We didn't actually, let's be honest, we didn't take measurements. We kind of just thought, I think I'm about that size.
I'm sure I'm a small.
There you go. But really, you do need to spend those few minutes with a measuring tape and your BFF and just get the real numbers, because they're gonna make your sweater, the choice of your sweater and the way it's gonna fit, it's gonna make the world of difference.
It will.
And I'm still knitting the extra small.
So first of all, we're gonna start out by picking our size in the sweater we're gonna knit. And then we're gonna go over and we're gonna make sure that those measurements fit us by the schematic.
Yeah, so the schematic is that drawing at the back of your pattern that looks like the finished sweater, and it's got all the measurements at all the parts of your body that you want to measure and make sure you matched.
Yes, and there's 4 measurements we're gonna look at specifically. We're gonna measure our bust, we're gonna measure our hip,
yes,
our cross back, and then our upper sleeve.
Yeah, and make sure it's a full bust, right? Right, not on top or underneath, because your bra size is completely different.
Yeah.
This is a full bust measurement, and that makes a big difference. And so you're gonna take those measurements and go to the schematic and see what size in the schematic matches your measurements.
So now we're gonna take our measurements, we're gonna write that down and compare those 2 numbers for the amount of ease.
Let's write down all the measurements in that 40-inch circumference sweater and see how it's gonna fit us. We have a 40-inch bust, a 16-inch crossback, 40-inch hip, and 15-inch circumference on my sleeve. After taking our actual body measurements, we have found out that our bust is 39 inches, the crossback is 15 inches, the hip circumference is 43, and our arm circumference is 14 inches. Let's do some knitting math.
So now we're gonna figure out the ease to see if this garment is actually gonna fit once we finish.
Yeah, so ease is that space in between you and the knitted sweater. And sometimes there's a tiny bit of ease, and that means your sweater's form-fitting. And sometimes you can go like up to giant amounts of ease, and those are like the boxy, comfy, cozy kind of, you know, sweaters that have lots of forgiveness when you're knitting them. You don't have to be as accurate.
Okay, so let's figure out the ease.
So while we look at these measurements, I see that the bust, we have 1 inch difference. Our bust is 1 inch smaller than the sweater.
Yeah, so let's put down +1.
+1, your sweater is 1 inch bigger than your actual body part. And then now when we're doing the crossback, our body is 1 inch smaller than the sweater, again. And our hips, our body measures 43 inches and the sweater measures 40.
Yeah.
That means it might be a little tight down there, right? So that's actually a negative ease when our body is bigger than the sweater, and that's -3 inches of ease for that one.
Okay, so the last measurement we're gonna have is the sleeve, the upper sleeve. And we know that now we have 1 inch of positive ease on the sleeve as well.
When we look at this size of sweater, we see that everything is gonna fit pretty close to the body, with the exception of the hips. They're gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be tighter to your body.
So you're either gonna have to knit some ease into the bottom of your sweater, depending if it's a top down or a bottom up where you make your changes, or maybe it just isn't the right pattern for you.
Yeah, one thing that I did when I knit my very first sweater, and I thought it was an awesome tip, was I took my favorite sweater, laid it out on the bed, and measured all these places on my favorite sweater, and that's how I knew what size pattern to pick.
And it also, if you're bigger in the waist than you are in the bust or chest, you should also measure your waist and add that to the list, because that's gonna be also a really, really important measurement. It's just so important. You're gonna spend so much time, money with yarn, knitting a sweater. You really want to make extra sure that this is going to fit.
Yeah, sweater knitting is tons of fun, but if you guys need help deciding on your sizes and how you want your sweaters to fit, you can always go to Craftsy and check out Amy Herzog's custom fit class. The link is down below.
And if you don't want to be bothered, knit a poncho. One size fits all.
It totally does. Thank you so much for joining us today, you guys. We had tons of fun talking about sweaters.
Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Happy sweater knitting!